Welcome to Jetta's Craft Cottage. Our project for today are these Halloween spooky lanterns. You can use them as decorations, treat containers, or outside on your walkway. You could put a candle in them and they will glow. For this project, you'll need some 2-liter bottles. These are just clear bottles, not the ones that are green. And you want to take off the paper for them. A mat knife or scissors, glue, the Mod Podge glue, and a brush, some tissue paper, some white for ghost, the green for Frankenstein, purple for a ghoul, and orange for pumpkins, a variety of punches for the eyes and mouth, and some hairy yarn, and some chenille stems, and this is optional, ribbon, along with some cardstock in black, white, and brown. The first thing we're going to do is draw a line around the top of the bottle, and I'm using a mat knife to cut into it so that I can get my scissors in. You could use the mat knife to go all the way around, or once you've got the slice in it, you take your scissors and cut around the rest of the bottle. You want to trim anything on the edge. There's a lot of loose edges here, so trim around to get it nice and smooth. If your black ink is showing here, we can cover it up with the ribbon later on. Next, we're going to take we're going to make the pumpkin, and we're going to just cut some of the tissue paper in little squares. So I'm going to cut straight down. This is about 1.5 to 2 inches, and I'm cutting through all the tissue paper and just making little squares like this. You're going to be using, probably half of this tissue paper for the pumpkin. Now, this is just the beginning of it, but if you look inside, you'll see some of the paper hasn't been glued to the edge. So you want to make sure the glue goes all the way down, and these are put together and they're stuck to the edge. You can come back later and finish that up. You don't have to put them straight on to match up the squares. You can overlap them and then you'll have some dimension on your pumpkin. They can just overlap a little bit. I'm going to cover the whole bottom just so that the little pieces that are open won't show through. Now that we have covered this bottle completely, you want to take your Mod Podge and just go over it one more time so that everything is secure. The glue is sticking to the paper and the paper is sticking to the glue. I'm now going to let this sit for about 20 minutes so it can dry. Then we will put the embellishments on it later. I've done the same thing to these other 3 bottles. The white one for the ghost, the green one for Frankenstein, and the purple one for the ghoul. And now we're going to start embellishing them. So with my hole punches, I punched a brown large circle, which would be like that, and a small black circle, which would have been like this size. And I glued those on together. These are the eyes of the ghoul. And I also made teeth. This is just a little strip of black cardstock, and I glued the teeth on the back with little strips of the paper. And now we're going to put it on our ghoul body. So we're going to start up here. I'm going to put some glue and I'm going to attach him just like that, and it'll take a little bit to hold it. Put the second one. And now we'll put his mouth on. I'm going to glue it from here. We're going to let it set to dry for a few minutes so that they don't come apart. Next, I'm going to put some hairy yarn around the edge of the bottle top. Put some glue first. Find your ribbon and just go 2 or 3 times around so the glue sticks with the ribbon and the ribbon sticks to the bottle. I'm going to add a little bit more glue. You could use any other topping. You could put the ribbon on top. You could use other yarn. You could use fabric. We're going to put a hole with a single hole punch, and I'm going to punch a hole right through the top, and I'm going to do it on both sides. Punched one on this side, and I've already punched it here. We're going to take the chenille stem, find the hole that we just punched, go from the outside in so that you can wrap it around and make it secure with a little twist. And then take the other side and go through the back side of the hole, come back up, do the twisting, and you've got your little ghoul lantern. With these little ones, I just used water bottles that were at different sizes. They were probably the same size height, but I cut them off. So now we have a ghoul family. This is going to be our Frankenstein. What I did was I cut 2 pieces of cardstock that were about the same length, and I just did a zigzag around because this will not cover it. And I'm going to glue the hair basically on top. Instead of having ribbon, we're just gluing the cardstock. And I'm going to see how much I can get around. It does not quite fit the other side, so we're going to just cut a little bit off of the other end. If you're having a little problem with the top not sticking, you could add one of the craft clips around just to secure it until it dries. Next, we'll put the eyes on. Again, I used the hole punches, and I punched out 2 large white and 2 smaller black. Now I'm going to glue the eyes to Mr. Frankenstein. And you can put his eyes looking any way you want. They could be cross-eyed, they could be straight up and down. They could be looking off to the side. Now let's get him cockeyed, because he's kind of a Frankenstein. And then I'm going to put 2 little oboes for his mouth. I'm going to just glue this right on to the center here, so it looks like he's yelling. And then we'll glue him onto right like that. Here we'll also put 2 holes and put for the lantern. These are the finished product of our lanterns for our Halloween. We have the Frankenstein, we have the ghoul family, we have our ghost, and our pumpkin. I hope you enjoyed these. Remember, a day without sunshine is just an extra day for crafting. And don't forget to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Ooh, have a happy Halloween!